Hello and welcome to Squirrel Pie Productions, my podcast about knitting, spinning, and sewing. My name is Tommi, and you can find me on Ravelry and Instagram as DynamiteTrujillo. You can also find my hand-dyed yarn company, Moonstone Dyeworks, at moonstonedyeworks.com. Welcome to episode 44 of my podcast. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome to any new viewers, and a big welcome back to any returning viewers. Thank you so much for spending a little bit of your time with me today. Today is a kind of gray, overcast Sunday here on the Northern California coast where I'm coming to you from. I am recording a couple of days late today, and that's pretty much due to technical difficulties. You may notice that I'm recording on a different setup today. I got the podcast the gift of a new camera, and I'm really excited about it, but there has been some kind of bugs to work out, so I've been working on that, and I'm really excited to get this episode out, and I hope it looks good. Let me know what you think. I'm pretty happy with it though. I really like my new setup. It's weird though. It's weird. I'm looking in like a whole different spot, so if things are a little wonky this episode, that's why. Thank you for bearing with me. So we have a Ravelry group for this podcast. It is where you'll find show notes for this episode and all previous episodes. It's where you'll find giveaway stuff and knit along stuff when we have those things going on. And you should check it out if you haven't yet. It's a fun place to be. And I do want to let you know too that the show notes for this podcast for each episode is where you can find mentions and links to everything that I talk about in the podcast. So if there's anything that I talk about that you want to know more about, go over there. It'll tell you what I was talking about. And if you don't see what you're looking for, just contact me and I'm happy to let you know. So let's get into what I'm wearing. Today I am wearing my Cybella pullover. This is such a great pattern by Carrie Bostic Hogue. It was published in one of her Matter collections. She has a few and they're all really good. And this was published in that. I love this sweater so much. It's knit out of Quince & Co. Chickadee, which is their sport weight 100% wool non-superwash. And it's the Fjord colorway, I believe. It's a really beautiful, really deep teal green, and I love it. This is one of my favorite sweaters. I think I say that about every sweater that I wear. I really love this one. It's really nice and wearable. The pattern was amazing. It's a bottom-up sweater with a lace yoke, and I added short rows to the back yoke to kind of raise the neckline back a little bit. And there's notes for that on my project page on Ravelry. But I highly recommend this pattern. I love it. I highly recommend Quince & Co. Chickadee. I love that yarn. I've got some more of it in my stash that I really want to use, but the thing about it is I have, so they come in 50 gram skeins. I've got 3 skeins of one color, 2 skeins of another color, and 1 skein left of this color. And they all go pretty well together, but I can't figure out what project to use them all in, since it's such an odd yardage and color amounts. I've looked though, I've thought about just doing like kind of a basic raglan pullover and do just kind of like alternating stripes with those colors. But I really love this yarn a lot. So yeah, that's what I'm wearing this week. I love it. It's keeping me warm. I did a big wash day for all my hand knits last week, and that was a feat. That was a feat. I'm not the biggest fan of hand washing clothes, so I tend to let them pile up until I have nothing left that I can wear, and then I have to wash everything all at once, and it's a big ordeal. But I did it, yay! And now I have a bunch of fresh, clean, crisp sweaters to wear. I'm so excited. So let's move on to what I've been working on. This past week, I am so in love with my first project. So in love with it. So this is living in my Sugar Tots Fox bag with the pink zipper. This is one of my favorite project bags. I love it. So, it's a hoe. I have my very first ever knee-high sock, all completed. I'm so excited about it. I love this thing so much. I am just so beyond over the moon excited about it. So let's tell you a little bit about it. I am using Moonstone Dye Works, which is my hand-dyed yarn, in the Moon Age Daydream colorway. And this is on my BFL sock base. I love this yarn so much. This is one of my favorite colorways that I dye. I really like it. Here's the tag. And what I did for these is I cast on using 64 stitches for the cup. And I cast on with a size 0 and then pretty quickly about here I think switched to a size 1 just because it was feeling a little snug. And 2x2 ribbing, I switched to I was using the size 1 for the stockinette here. And I decreased down to 56 stitches, kind of starting here, along here. And my decreases, I just kind of winged it. I will put project notes in my project page once I create one because I haven't yet. But I think I decrease like every maybe 5 rounds or so. And yeah, I just knit 56 stitches for days until I got to the heel, and I did my very favorite heel flap and gusset. And the foot with my Tilting Planet Progress Keeper, which I love and it goes perfectly with this project. And then for the toe, I did my favorite rounded toe with the Kitchener finish. And these things fit so nicely. I love them so much. They fit all the way up to my knee, not to just below my knee, and they're really nice and snug, but they also slouch down really nicely, so that's really cool. I'm really into that. So I can wear them all the way up and they're nice and tight and they stay up and everything. And if I want to, I can slouch them down, and I feel like that looks really good and it feels really good too. I really, really like that style, it turns out. So yeah, this is my first one. The second one is cast on. I've got a little cuff going, and right now I've got them on the size 0s. And pretty soon I'm going to switch to the 1s just to kind of keep them the same and get going on them. I love this project so much. And so that's how much yarn I have left, which is quite a bit. I weighed the yarn as I went, and I did not need to do a contrasting toe for these because the first sock used less than 50 grams. So I actually think I've got like maybe 60 grams left for the second sock. So that's freaking awesome. I'm so happy I know that now. I can knit a whole pair of knee-high socks out of one regular skein yarn. I'm so, so happy about that. So I might do more knee-high socks. I think I might. I think that might be like my new obsession right now, is knee-high socks. Because it's just so fun. You get to do the plain knit, knit, knit stockinette part just like forever. And I love it so much. Oh, I love it. I'm having so much fun with these. So I am knitting these for the Socks in Space Knit Along, which is being hosted by the Pin Feathers and Pearls podcast and the Cherry Pearls podcast. And when they announced they were doing that knit along again this year, I immediately thought of Moon Age Daydream. I'm just super excited about this knit along because I really think it's like the best idea for a knit along ever. Socks in space. Any space themed socks you want. So cool. Okay. So those are my knee highs. I am just in love with them. My new favorite sock style. What is next? My new cast on. Yes, my new cast on is next. So I dug my Ghastly's project bag out of hibernation for this one. And I cast on for the, I hope I'm going to say this right, it's the Yule Book mittens. And that's a mitten pattern by Ellie of Skein Deer Knits. And they're amazing. They're mittens with deers on them, which is like right up my alley. And they have hearts on them and snowflakes. So she came out with that pattern pretty recently, and I cast on really quick because I was really excited about them. And this is the yarn that I'm using. So this is some Madeline Tosh Mill Light. This is the kitten colorway, and I believe this colorway is called High Low. And Toshmo Light is something with mohair in it. Let's see. 80% merino wool and 20% kid mohair. So that's the Madeline Tosh. And it actually doesn't say on here superwash merino. It just says 80% merino wool. So that's cool. Does that mean it's non-superwash? I hope so. I didn't know that. That's super cool. So non-superwash, yay. If a label doesn't specifically say that it's superwash for wool, does it automatically mean it's non-superwash? I don't know, I haven't thought about that. I hope so. Anyway, so this is the yarn that I'm using, and it has got 20% mohair in it, which means that as I'm knitting with it, I get all the little flyaways that I'm super wimpy about. So it's been a little to work on just because of that, but it hasn't been too bad. I'm getting through it. So far, I have got the cuff knit, and I really love the way it's working up so far. So the cuff is lace, and it stripes the main color and the contrast color, and I think the two colors look really, really good right now. And it's got this really beautiful cast on edge here that's really nice and clean, and I really like how she does that. I have not done a cast on like this before. And I'm really enjoying these so far. Right now I am working on a size 0 for the cuff, and then I will be switching to a size 1.5, I think, when I get to the color work part of the mitten, the main part of the mitten. So that's a really fun project. I am having so much fun with it. And I'm just like super digging color work right now. I think it's kind of, color work I think is kind of getting back into the spotlight. And it's for good reason. It's because it's really fun. So that is my Yule Book mittens, and they're nice and wintry, even in the pink and gray. So, even though they're mohair. Yeah, mohair. I can feel it on me now. Okay, so next up, living in my Nightmare Before Christmas project bag are my Maya's Mamalukers, which are my knitted underpants. And this is a pattern by Maya Carlson. It is a free pattern on Ravelry. And I am using, again, Moonstone Dye Works. This is in my natural merino base in the Lady Soul colorway. And I am loving this base so much. It's knitting up so squishy and soft and just, I don't know, just nice and natural feeling. It's woolly and it's soft and it's just awesome. I just love it. I think these are going to make really, really nice knitted underpants. So here's what I have so far. I have got the entirety of the waistband done, so it's all 2x2 ribbing. And then right underneath the waistband, you do a bunch of increases. You pretty much double your stitch count almost. So I've got that going now, and right now it's just mostly stockinette with these panels of 2x2 ribbing. And I have switched the needles. I'm still working on a 1.5, but I've switched to magic loop. I had these on a 16-inch circular before, and it was way too bunched up on the needles since I did all the increases. So I'm doing magic loop now. I may have placed an order for a 1.5 Chiaogu needle tip to go on my mini interchangeable set. So that might be coming in the mail. So next week when I show this to you, it might be on those needles. But this pattern is really awesome so far. So the pattern itself was written for just one size, which was going to be too big for me, but the pattern designer does give instructions on how to size down and kind of do the math yourself. So with the immense help of other people who've done the same thing and written amazing project notes about how they've done their size decreasing, I was able to kind of figure out what to do. I would not have been able to do it on my own without them, because I'm just not that with it. But I cast on, I think 130, either 132 or 134 stitches, I can't remember. And I did a German twisted cast on, and then 2x2 ribbing for, I think I did about 6 inches. The pattern calls for 8 inches, but I took off a couple inches for that. I think they'll be high-waisted, but I think I'm going to be folding them over too when I wear them. And so now periodically I'll be increasing for the hips, and we'll see where it goes from there. I'm a little ways into that, so we'll see. I've got my numbers kind of planned out, but I'm also kind of winging it, so we'll see. I think they're working out good. I plan on trying them on as I go, like the whole way, so I think they're going to be awesome. I think they're going to fit really, really good. And I don't really plan on wearing these as like a base layer, like under clothes. I think I plan on kind of just wearing them as like booty shorts. So instead of underwear, I'm going to be wearing them as shorts. And mostly I think pajama shorts or like lounging around the house kind of shorts, stuff like that. Over tights, I think that might be cute. So we'll see how that goes, but I just really, really love this pattern so far, and it's just so squishy, and I love the color. Ah! So I'm really, really happy with this project, and I think I picked the perfect time of year to make these, because it is getting cold. We had our first frost yesterday, and it's pretty dang cold right now. So, knitted underpants. I think you should knit them. Me and Eva of The Charm of It and Casey from the Creative Musings podcast are all kind of doing a really casual, kind of unofficial little knit along for these things because I think they're casting on pairs themselves. So check out, if you haven't yet, which I hope you have, but if you haven't yet, check out both of their podcasts. They're amazing podcasters, and I love both of their channels. So that's The Charm of It and the Creative Musings podcast. Check in with them, their podcasts, or maybe their Instagram feeds to see what they are up to and if they're working on theirs. I'll link to them in the show notes too. And if you want to cast some of these things on, I hope you do. I really, really hope you do. They are so fun. I think you're going to like them. I think you should cast them on. I mean, why not? Knitted knickers. Just, it's great. They're the best. Okay, so yeah, that's it for those. Next up, I feel like I'm kind of just like boom, boom, boom with my projects here. I have been working, I've taken out of its project bag finally, my Mount Pleasant top. And this thing's kind of almost done. So this is a crop top by Megan Nodecker. I am using Greenwood Fiberworks in the Yakety Yak base in the Paper Roses pink colorway. And I love this color so much. It's a yak base. It's superwash merino, yak, and silk. It's really nice and soft and drapey and shiny. It's not typically my style of yarn. I tend to like pretty much just wool or wool and nylon. I tend to stay away from other fibers like silk and yak. I don't know why. But it's nice. It's really, really knitting up really nicely. So that's my second skein that I have not caked up yet. And here's my top so far. So that is what we have got. We are almost done. Pretty much, that's the whole body right there. I've got the front done. So I've got the shaping done for the front, and I've got the shoulders on holders. And then the back, I am pretty much done knitting the straight up stockinette in the back, and now I'm going to be doing the shaping for the back, neck, and shoulders. And then once I do that, I'll be joining them together. Here is where I split for the armholes. So I'll join them together up here once I'm done. And then I think all I have to do is join the shoulders, do the ribbing for the neck, and then I think there's some ribbing at the sleeves too, and then I'm done. So I'm pretty dang close on this. Here was the cast on edge. It's got a lace hem, which is really cool. And it was just pretty much all stockinette. This was a super easy, simple knit, and it's gone by really quick. I am really glad I bought that second skein, because this is what I have left on the first skein. I ran out of yarn and didn't want to get up to go cake up the second skein, so I stopped working on it. But hopefully I'll do that soon. And yeah, I am really glad I bought that second skein, because when I first cast on this project, I was thinking it was going to be a one skein project. So I had this yarn in my stash from a couple years ago when I went to the Black Sheep Fiber Festival up in Oregon. I bought one skein there, and I thought it was going to be perfect for this project. And then I paid attention to the project notes, the pattern notes that actually tells you the yardage you need. And I didn't have enough yardage. So I contacted the dyer on Etsy at Greenwood Fiber Works, and she actually had in her inventory still a skein from the same exact dye lot, in the same yarn, same colorway, same dye lot, everything. So that was really lucky. So I bought that, and I'm really glad I did, because I need more yarn now. So this thing is coming along. It is almost done. It's my mofo. And yeah, I hope to be wearing this soon. I am not generally a crop top sort of person. I don't own any crop tops. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to be wearing this over dresses. I think that's how it's going to work best for me. I doubt I'll wear it with pants. I don't know. I'll try it and see what it's like, but I kind of doubt that style is going to work for me. I don't know. I feel like it would look weird on me. But we'll see. And in the meantime, I've got the perfect dress that I think this will go really well with. It's a black dress that's like really fitted at the top, and then it flares out at the waist. So I think it's going to be perfect for this. And yeah, hopefully I'll be wearing that soon. It's going to drape really nicely. It's going to look really good, I think. I am knitting this for the Crop Top Cow, which is being hosted by Susan of the Knit Lib podcast, which is another great podcast that you should totally check out if you don't watch it already. I saw Susan knit one of these crop tops on her podcast and kind of fell in love with it. So that inspired me to make this one. And she's hosting a knit along right now for crop tops, for any crop top. So that's what this is for. And I'm going to show you my pins again. I've showed them to you before, but I love them. This is my mermaid and my T-Rex wearing a sweater. And that's my snake. And these are from Plesiosaur, a really cool enamel pin maker. She does a lot of like weird nature themed pins. All right, so my last project that I have been working on is living in the biggest project bag ever. This is my Fat Squirrel Aran size project bag. And it is because it's the biggest project ever. It's my Brownstone pullover. I'm getting through this thing. I am living in a sea of navy blue stockinette right now. Squirrely! Are you okay or what? Does no one love you? Come here. Oh, my poor kitty. It's so sad that no one loves you. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Nope. Oh. Okay, anyway. So the Brownstone pullover is a pattern by Jared Flood written for Brooklyn Tweed, and I am knitting it using Cascade 220 Superwash in the navy colorway and the silver gray colorway. This is my Cowboys themed sweater, which I am knitting for my mother's boyfriend for Christmas at his request, and he is super excited about it, which is the best. that is exactly who I like to knit for, are people who are excited about my knitting. So, this is what I've got so far. I have gotten a pretty good amount of work done on it. I am literally just swimming in a sea of navy blue stockinette now. Black hole of giant sweater knitting. So I am knitting one of the biggest sizes, I think the extra large, possibly the extra extra large. I can't remember. I'll check at some point. And I'm knitting this on a size 7 needle from my Haya Haya interchangeable set. And that's really all there is to say about this. I do have the sleeves already done. Thank goodness. So here are the sleeves. I'm almost done with the body. I've got several more inches maybe to go, and then I'll be joining the sleeves, doing the yoke, and doing the shawl collar. And then I'm calling it done. So this is his Christmas present. So I've got to get this done by Christmas. So I'm got a little bit of time, but I am working on it. Trying to get out of this sea, this black hole sea of stockinette. I'm crawling my way out. I'm going to be done soon, and it's going to be awesome. I hope it's going to fit him, because he's not here to try it on. It'll fit him. And if it doesn't, he'll still wear it, I'm sure. So yeah, that is everything I've been knitting this week. Let's move on to some favorites. I have been thinking a lot about socks lately. I want to knit all the socks. There have been a couple of sock patterns come out recently that I am just in love with and obsessed with and want to knit so bad. So I'm going to tell you about a couple of those and then just talk about a couple of other sock fantasies I have right now. The first one that came out really recently is the Mischief Maker socks by Casey Mara. And I love these things. They're a really cool sock pattern. It's a color work pattern with 2 colors, and it creates these vertical stripes down the socks, and they are so cool. Now, she kind of did 2 different samples for the pattern. One of them is really contrasty, the 2 colors, and the other one is a little less contrasty. And I like those ones. I like the less contrasty ones, and I really want to kind of go through my stash and see what I can find in like 2 different color families, but in a similar, what is it, tone of shade? I don't know if that's the right wording. 2 different colors that are not that contrasting. I think that would look really, really cool. So I really love those socks. I want to cast some of those on. And then the other sock pattern I've been looking at are the sweater weather socks by Tabby from the Hey Sister podcast. And those socks are really, really awesome. They're like, the back has a cable running down and the front has 2 rows of twisted stitches running down. And oh, I just think they are so cool. I really, really want to knit those too. So hopefully, I don't know, I got a lot of sock things happening right now, but I hope I can get into knitting those 2 patterns. If you know me, you know I'm a vanilla sock girl. I find it really difficult to really get into a sock pattern because I just love vanilla socks so much. But I really like both of those patterns. So I'm gonna keep ogling them and see what happens. And then I'm gonna kind of go stash diving, keep an eye out, see if there's anything I really wanna use for those. But I really, really like those 2 sock patterns. Check them out if you haven't yet. And then the other things I want to make, I really like to make a Christmas stocking. I have always wanted a Christmas stocking. Well, I've always wanted to make a Christmas stocking, to knit one. And I've never done it. And I really like the idea of it. And I really like the look of a hand knit, like possibly color work, possibly like really thick, chunky kind of hand knit stocking. So I might do that. I don't know. A lot of times I don't get to spend Christmas at home. I have to travel for Christmas because my family lives out of town. So I don't know. I kind of don't like the idea of like like making myself a Christmas stocking and then hanging it above my fireplace and then just leaving. So I kind of never get motivated to do it because most years, every year I've left town except for last year. Last year I got to stay home and that was amazing. It was so fun because I got to like decorate my own house and kind of be all Christmassy and cozy in my own home, you know, with my own like tree and decorations and stuff. So I hope I get to do that again this year, but I don't know. I might have to travel. I'm not sure yet. So that might affect whether or not I make myself a Christmas stocking. And I really want to, though. Someday, if I don't do it this year, I really want to do it someday. And then the other sorts of socks that I really want to make right now are some heavier weight socks. I really, really enjoy thick socks. So I've been thinking a lot about making DK weight or worsted weight socks, and I really want some. I have one pair of worsted weight socks, and I love them. I wear them all the time. And I really like the idea of like really long socks that are thicker and that like don't fit that tight. Like maybe knee-high DK weight socks. I really want to do that. So I don't know. I'm going to look through, see what I have. I've got a lot of sock things happening right now. But why not? Why not have more? Oh, and by the way, the other day I went through all of my socks and found all the ones that I knit this year and actually put together my box of socks. And guess what, guys? I have 11 pairs of socks in my box of socks. Isn't that amazing? I'm so impressed with myself. I had no idea I had that many. I am so excited about that. So all I need is one more pair of socks, and I make it to 12 for the Box of Socks knit along, which is being hosted by Kristen of the Yarngasm podcast. And that's an epic knit along. That happens every year. I think last year was the first year, but it's going to happen next year too. And it's the coolest knit along. It's, you knit 12 pairs of socks in a year, and then you put them all in a box, and they look awesome. So I've got that kind of put together. I'm not going to show you yet. I want to sometime in December, after I'm done with my 12th pair, to actually take out my box, show you what my box is, because it's really cool. I totally copied from somebody though. You'll be able to you'll be able to tell who I copied when I show it, and I'll say who I copied. But I totally copied somebody because it's a really good idea. But yeah, I'll show you my 12 pairs of socks that are in my box of socks sometime in December when I'm done with my last pair. Which could be coming up soon because I have 2 pairs of socks on the needles now and I have all these plans. That reminds me too that my 1-year podiversary is coming up in December. I am so amazed by that. I'm so excited about it. My first episode went up on YouTube in December of 2016. So coming up in like a couple weeks is my podiversary. So I don't know what I'll do for that, but I want to do something to celebrate. We'll see. I'll let you know. I'll keep you in on the loop for that. But yeah, that's super exciting. 1 year of this, and I love it. I love doing this podcast. I'm so happy I started doing it. And if you've been watching, no matter how long you've been watching, thank you so much for watching. By the way, I love it and appreciate it, and I'm so happy you're here. Okay, so I'm rambling now. I am going to scoot my boot on out of here and enjoy the rest of my Sunday. I'm going to do some dyeing and enjoy my last day before the work week begins for my day job. Short week next week because it's American Thanksgiving, and I'm really happy about that because I only have to go to work for 2.5 days. Yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful week coming up and a wonderful Thanksgiving if you are celebrating this next week. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up if you want to, and subscribe if you haven't yet. That way you'll be kept up to date on future episodes when they come out. And yes, have fun and stay awesome, you guys. Bye.